What's up, everybody? I'm Darren Brazil here, joined with Mike Oransky.
Heyo!
And we're checking out this awesome clip from Avengers Age of Ultron. It's the Hulkbuster versus the Incredible Hulk. And Mike, you're upset with me already.
Yeah. Because you completely. I'm a guy who's trying to stay away from the spoilers. I don't want to watch any of these these clips and ruin the full experience for me.
And I sit right across from you, and I show you every clip I possibly can find on the internet.
Killing me.
And so they've been putting out a lot of Avengers clips lately. This is one of the most recent ones, and it's obviously one of the most anticipated ones because it's a scene we've seen early on, and now we get to see it fleshed out a little bit more. So let's start at the beginning here. Hulk versus Hulkbuster, and we already know right here off the bat that the Iron Man suit fits right into the Iron Man Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah.
That's nothing new. We saw that in the original trailers, but what we do get in this little scene here is a little bit more elaborate look at the UI inside of the Hulkbuster outfit.
The dual UI.
The dual UI, right?
Which is rad, yeah.
Yeah, and so if we go back here, you see that, hey, we have his original UI, and then it zooms out, and it kind of shows you his mask,
yeah,
right?
because obviously he's in the normal Iron Man outfit, and all of a sudden he goes in the Buster suit, so basically we're seeing two levels of the costume, basically.
And there's the extra level of the UI, which is super cool to see. Nothing in detail there that stands out that says anything, but you know, we looked at it, nothing there. But it's super cool to see.
Yeah.
You see the Hulk, he's raging, he's pissed.
Oh yeah.
And we also find out in this scene that, and we knew this a little bit before too, that this is due to the Scarlet Witch and her hex powers, and kind of putting a spell on him and really enraging him and having him fight against the rest of the Avengers. And Tony even says something to that extent here.
Yeah, he calls him out.
Yeah, he calls her out. He says, "Hey, the witch is in your head."
Right.
The little witch is messing with your head. That's what he says right there. And that's a little bit of a spoiler, right? You know, it gives a little bit of taste of what is happening. That they're obviously fighting against the Maximoff twins, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing that's here too is this device, right? So when the first trailer came out, actually, you actually saw this shot here. In the first trailer, remember that? And in the top left there, you see that little floating device there again as well. That wasn't in the first trailer.
It's true.
It made it into the second trailer.
I love that, by the fact that we are getting now like pieces of trailers as we go. Like, it's interesting that we're seeing the evolution of basically all the CGI that's added after.
Yeah, and so much of these movies is CGI, right? That you can leave things out and actually make awesome trailers with great shots and leave out little parts that are super cool. And so that's one of them. That came in the second trailer, but now we get to see a little more fleshed out in this clip. And what that is it's a device that drops off pieces of his armor.
Yeah, which is it's interesting because if you think about Iron Man 3, we had that kind of same situation where his suit was able to add pieces back to himself.
The Mark 42, I think.
Right, but the interesting thing is it took so long to get to him a lot of times, and so I think this is kind of the evolution of Tony Stark dealing with that issue. And with this new suit, so they can travel with him at all times, which is rad.
Yeah. So you see a little bit of the fighting here, and I'm actually super surprised by the agility by the Hulkbuster outfit. It's flying around. You know, they didn't make it seem like it's heavier, obviously, but he does some pretty agile and mobile movements here that I think is pretty shocking. So they're tearing up this town. Here's the one thing that stood out to me. In the background right there, you can see the South African flag. And it's very prominent on this building, and you see it in multiple shots, probably intentionally because they shot in South Africa, and that was probably part of the deal, right? Is show off the country that you're obviously shooting in. But what's interesting about that, and you see it here again in the background, is we've been told, rumor is that this is actually a part of Wakanda, and which is weird because in the comics, Wakanda is a very technologically advanced city. And this obviously just looks like your average kind of normal city, right? That you'd see in our day and age. So I'm not too sold that this is Wakanda. I think it's South Africa, and I think they're maybe on the way to Wakanda or going there for whatever reason, and they end up in South Africa.
Right. Okay. I get behind that.
So just my 2 cents based off what we saw. But again, this movie has been screened places, and people say that Wakanda definitely is a part of the movie.
Yeah, totally.
I'm still holding that this is South Africa, but you see the Hulk going crazy here, ripping up the armor with a telephone pole. Tony blasts him off to the side. This is the part that's super cool here, right? Is that...
Oh, yeah, this is the suit kind of getting its rebuild, which is...
Yeah, there's that device in action, right? Look how cool that is. It drops out, new glove, new part of the arm, and Tony's able to shed off the broken bits, which is super cool. And you see here he starts shaking them off, rebuilds himself, and it's fascinating, right? That Tony kind of he understands that this armor can't hold up to the Hulk, right?
Totally.
So he needs more pieces.
Yep.
Bam, punch at the end, big shockwave.
Now we should actually point out the thing that we didn't point out early on in the Bruce situation. So let's roll on back to the beginning of this.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I actually wanted to point out that I know we kind of sidestepped here, but I found this fascinating. Which is, if you listen to Tony for a minute here.
Oh, yeah, it goes forward right when he's communicating with him.
Yep.
He sits there and says,
You're Bruce Banner.
You're Bruce Banner.
Right, yeah. And he's freaking out over that.
Which is cool because in the comics, there's very much a dissension between the Hulk and Bruce Banner and that relationship there, right? It's very much a two-person relationship inside the similar body. And the Hulk wants to be the Hulk. He thinks Bruce Banner is puny, right? And Tony even says that. Oh, that's right. Don't say Bruce Banner. Like that, don't say puny Bruce Banner. It enrages the Hulk. And so that's pretty cool because we haven't seen that too much yet.
Yeah, the internal struggle. I mean, we have obviously the Hulk, like Banner lives with this internal struggle constantly, but this is a major kind of like a little note to the fact that how bad this is getting for him now.
Well, we've seen Banner in the previous movies, in his solo outing and in the Avengers, where he doesn't want to turn into the Hulk. Where Banner doesn't want to turn into the Hulk.
Try to control it.
For obvious reasons. We have yet to see, though, the Hulk wanting to stay as the Hulk and suppress Banner. We haven't seen that quite yet. This is the case where we see a little dissension, right, between Banner and Hulk. And I think that's really cool. I hope they explore that more because one of the things I've always actually kind of disliked about the Marvel movies so far in the way they've handled Hulk is he has way too much control of the Hulk. And I grant the first movie he was out of control, but like all of a sudden out of nowhere it's like, oh yeah, there's an alien attack. Yeah, I can actually control my anger. You know? And so this is super cool that they're actually showing that there's dissension between that inner struggle between the Hulk and Bruce Banner.
Oh, you're talking about Avengers film. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about original Hulk way past in the beginning.
You talking about Lou Ferrigno?
We don't talk about Ang Lee's Hulk. We don't want to talk about that.
You want to talk about the Ang Lee Hulk?
Yeah, we don't want to reference that. Sorry. I want to make sure that struggle he's dealing with there.
This rewind will go on way too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, in the end here, you see the Hulk charging. You see Iron Man blasting at him with looks like it's not just a normal repulsor blast, right? Like that's like a unibeam blast that usually shoots from his chest. I mean, this thing is souped up and powerful. So super cool. Obviously, it doesn't affect the Hulk. He runs right through it. And then this punch is just awesome. I mean, that if that isn't the ultimate like bro fist pump, right, or like bro fist little pound, I don't know what is.
A little sonic booming happened there.
Yeah. Super cool. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think people get upset with people like me for showing you these clips.
Thanks for ruining it.
But let's be honest, this is a minute and a half, and I think there's so much more to this battle. Obviously, it didn't get finished. There's so much more to it, probably before and after that. I think it'll still be awesome in the theaters.
I'm excited. I'm still excited. But you ruined it for me.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, bud.
Hey, hope we didn't ruin it for you. In fact, I hope you enjoyed kind of breaking it down with us. For everything more Avengers, you're already in the right spot. Keep it locked to IGN.
There you go.